everybody, and welcome to the All-White Comedy Club. How y'all feeling tonight? Don't get too excited because at one of my previous shows, I had some white people jump on stage and call themselves dancing. They were like, and they didn't have any rhythm. I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, they look like big turkeys doing a turkey back or something. Like, get your ass off my stage. And have you ever just seen like a white person outside when it's -2 degrees with flip-flops on, and then the back of their feet are really calloused and dry? Like, what type of stuff is that? And white people have this weird thing with ethnicity, like they're 30% mayonnaise, 4% Italian, and 2% milk. Like, I don't get it. You're just white. All right, have a nice night. It's been a great show, everybody.
She's hilarious, yo.
Damn, it's cold out.
You know what? I did not pay $50 to come here and get roasted like this.
What do you mean?
Didn't you think that comedian was like super racist?
The one, the comedian who was making fun of white people?
Yeah, you saw it too, right?
That's not racism.
Are you kidding me? If they were a white comedian making fun of your race, you would have called it racist, right?
That's because it's actually racism in that case.
How does that make sense?
I understand that you're upset, but that's not equatable to racism. Because once you leave this comedy club, this space, you don't have to think about it anymore.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, there's no system oppressing your whiteness, so those jokes really aren't going to impact the rest of your life. And at the end of the day, you don't have to think about your own safety when you're going home.
But being around as these jokes are being made, like, makes me feel very uncomfortable. Like, I felt that the spotlight was, like, right on me because I'm fucking white. Like,
is that a bad thing, you know?
yes.
I mean, let me ask you this. How many times in a regular day do you have to think about your race or how your race makes, like, how your race and how people, how it correlates to how people treat you?
Well, like, it is something I don't really ever have to think about.
Exactly. You're so privileged in your whiteness that you don't know.
Okay, so racism is bad or whatever. But, like, we should just set that aside because we need something to laugh at, right?
No. So comedy doesn't really exist in a void. I'm in this space. So it's like, it happens. Like, every day I have to deal with racist behaviors and remarks, and I'm expected to stay quiet or I'm seen as sensitive. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard, lighten up or relax.
Well, you need to relax though. Like, it's jokes. It's supposed to make people laugh. And like, yeah.
So, why are you so upset about the white jokes if it's just supposed to be funny?
Okay, fine, okay, whatever. But like, still, if if a person of color can make fun of a white people, then a white comedian should be able to make fun of black people of color.
No, that doesn't happen because white people.
thing.
No, it's not because white people jump at any instance to make fun of marginalized groups' struggles. They make it into a laughing matter, and the difference, as I've told you already, is that you can walk away from the joke. You can just walk away. I can't. And with that, when white people make fun of people of color, there is a certain truth to it because you further perpetuate the notion that I and other people of color are less than, which is not the case. We're equal. And that's how I feel when you make a racist joke because you poke fun at things, at universal, just everything that happens to us as marginalized groups. Just because comedians of color are making those same jokes does not mean that you can. And when you make them, it's your way of escaping and your way of showing us that you have those problematic beliefs. But people of color can't escape those realities. While the biggest discomfort from you, again, so you can wrap your head around this, is that it's at the end of the punchline. My feelings of discomfort come from generations on generations of oppression toward my people and other people who are oppressed. And on top of all of that, I have to convince others that it isn't funny. Racism isn't funny. There are consequences to your words, comedy or not.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, maybe I kind of get it.
Okay, you think it's funny to make people to laugh at people of color, but with that laughter, I see systems of oppression continuing. But when we laugh at jokes about you, you don't like it because you don't acknowledge your privileges. I'm done with this conversation.